It's not time to journal. Let me...
Because you do not disturb
I
it.
do not disturb my devices. Welcome. How are you all doing, folks? This is the Dylan Talks Tone live stream on Thursday. We even have the right audio turned on tonight, the very first try, which is pretty cool. And I hope everybody is having a good evening. This is what we do every Thursday night. We answer guitar questions that have come in from Patreon, have come in from YouTube members. You can join by using the little join button down there for the YouTubes, and also the Patreon. Now that our image isn't mirrored, I can just point to it. It's right there. Patreon is right there. Also, if you want to skip all of the people taking percentages of your money, you can just use the Cash App right there. There's a couple other things I want to tell you. And so we're going to answer questions. You can also ask them in the chat over there, and Leslie will catch them. Put a bunch of question marks in front of there if you want to catch your question. Get your question answered.
If they want to catch their question.
If you want to make sure that you get your question answered and you have not joined Patreon, please use a super chat.
Tom F just said, wait, you reverse seats.
I will say also that we are doing ad-free live streams. And so if you like ad-free live streams with no commercials in them, let us know. If you use super chat, that'll support the channel since we're not doing live streams. So,
What?
or little super stickers or whatever, stuff like that.
This is a live stream. You just said we're not doing live streams.
No, we're not doing doing ads in live streams anymore. So if you use a super chat or a super sticker or whatever, that helps out the channel. So we do appreciate that. A couple, because we are going to just be 100% viewer supported on these things now. The other thing I wanted to mention is don't forget that these awesome Runway Audio exclusive cables, Dylan Talks Tone exclusive Runway Audio cables, they say that one. They say Dylan Talks Tone on one end. Go ahead.
I wish I could hear it. Super chat from Van Shank Guitars. He says, hi, Dylan and Leslie, for keeping it ad free.
Thank you. Thank you, Ivan. I appreciate you. Anyway, these cables are available at Dylan Talks Tone. You can get them, and they are cool. And they're really awesome. We did some videos about them. Those are available. The other thing is available that we have patch cable kits from Runway Audio that drop ship from Runway. So those are awesome. We just did a video about those. We have a bunch of new pickup parts on the website. You can buy bobbins. You can buy magnets. You can buy humbucker magnets now. And we also, maybe next week, I was going to get it done this week, but I didn't get that far. We're probably going to put Stratocaster and Telecaster pickup kits on the website.
They probably didn't hear that because we got a super chat from Tony Leonardi. Thank you for the super chat, Tony. He says, good evening, Leslie and Dylan.
Thank you, Tony. I appreciate that. He just bought a McCready Strat from Jonathan.
Sweet.
Up there at Casino. We have some new videos coming. Oh, we have new pickups in the pickup vault on the website. We're doing laser cut leather tops, and they're really cool. They're available in a brown and a black, and we cut them and dye them and treat them here. Like I'm making them. So they're really cool, and they're not that expensive. So it's something that we can do pretty reasonably. So just know that those are available as well. And we have more videos coming, and we have more videos coming on the other channel. We get to the off-topic hour at 9 o'clock. We will tell you about some of the off-topic-y stuff that we've got going over there. So I know that people will be like, you're talking for 5 minutes and you haven't gotten to but we don't have ads. So I just have to tell you about all the stuff that's going on. You can fast forward to this part.
I mean, I got to catch up.
Yeah.
You want to address Tom F's comment about us reversing seats?
So they can tell.
Apparently.
Yeah. So we unmirrored the image. This is how we always sit. Yeah. You have seen it backwards the entire time, but it really annoys her and it annoys me. When I'm going like this and trying to figure out where to point, it's because it's backwards. Yeah. So now if I point to the red thing down here and I point to the little Cash App thing, I'm actually doing it and I'm not doing it backwards. So we just flip the image. So I guess Yeah. So this is how we've always sat.
Yeah, I'm always to his right.
Yep.
Like always.
Always. Even when we eat out or anything. Because I'm left-handed.
Yeah.
So it's hard to like, Yeah.
Anyway.
Well, there you go.
It was funny.
Yeah, it's funny.
It drives me crazy, and then y'all noticed.
We have a very interesting main question from Patreon tonight that I hope to get people's input on. And I actually want to get your input on it.
Okay.
You're going to answer this one.
Like now, or we're going to do questions first?
Well, this is the Patreon question.
Oh.
It's the first one. And so because it's the thumbnail. So
People are freaking out. Whoa, that just blew my mind. Didn't realize the wall moved too.
Yeah, we flipped the entire house backwards.
Yes.
So
you want me to put something up, or are you going to ask a question?
Yeah, no, go ahead and ask the first Patreon question, because that's where this is coming from.
All right.
This is our first Patreon question for the week.
Charles. Good evening, Leslie and Dylan. Thank you for sharing your evening with us. I am still amazed every time I play my new S-style guitar. My question is, why do you think people focus on certain aspects of guitars to the point of not keeping it fun? I have found the best players are the most humble people out there. Why can't people be happy for those who like something different? What do you?
I want to know what your take is on this, and I want to know
on his question.
On your take, what is your answer for this question? This is a human question. This is not a guitar question, right? So,
I mean, I think so. The first part, why do you think people focus on certain aspects? I think that's natural. Like you just get laser focused on something, and similar to some people who have hobbies, they obsess over things. So then you just get laser focused on something. I don't know if that necessarily means it's not fun, but it's probably not why they started doing it, right?
Yeah.
I agree. Some really good players are the most humble, and you probably don't even know who they are. I definitely agree with that. And they also don't care what you think, and they don't care what they play, and they just like what they like. So, and the last part, why can't people be happy for those who like something different? I mean, why care? Why care what somebody else thinks? That's what I think. What somebody thinks is none of your business.
Yep.
That's my opinion. I feel like I got set up. So what are we going to talk about? What's your answer?
No, that's okay. I wanted to hear what is my answer? So do those question pieces again, and I'll go through them, and then we'll ask the audience what they think. They'll be caught up by that.
Why do you think people focus on certain aspects of guitars to the point of not keeping it fun?
I think what you said is probably true. I think that people, anytime you get really interested in something, you want to know all the things if you're that kind of person. And so you dive into it to a point that, here's the thing I think that I wanted to pick apart about that question is it is fun for me to be nerdy about things. However, so like, here is a knife. The knife steel, and this is the process that they use to make this handle, and this is the cost of goods, and I go all nerdy on it, right? However, if you are not interested in that, where the fun gets taken out of it, I think, is when a person takes the fun out of it for someone else. I think it's fun to be that nerdy. But if I know you don't think it's that nerdy, so my level of talking to you about this knife is, hey, do you think this knife is cool? And you're going to go, and you might say, oh, yeah, that's a nice one. I like the color, blah, blah, blah. And I don't push you.
Made me sound like a bimbo.
No, it's not that. But you do have varying interests in various things. Sometimes I will bring a guitar home and you will be like, that is really cool. And you want to know a bunch of stuff about it. Sometimes you could care less. Doesn't matter. It's just, that's how we are. But if I push you to be a nerd about it all and you don't want to be, then I take the fun out of it for you. So what I'm trying not to do as a guitar player is I will be nerdy for myself and I will enjoy the things that I like and I will explain the things I like, but I will not push someone else. What I don't like in guitar culture is when somebody is like, taking the fun out of the room because they want to be more nerdy than everybody else wants to be. If that makes sense. Like
projecting onto somebody.
Yes. Now, because we've had this, I mean, I've had it happen in classes when I was at Texas Toast. You're like, dude, just calm down, man. We're having fun, you know? And same thing. Well, what about Tonewood? Dude, we're just having fun. We're just playing guitar. Like, I think that's the thing, is when I don't want to take the fun out of it for someone else. Now, if they want to talk about that nerdy stuff, I'll do it. But I want to be self-aware enough to make sure that I don't do it to someone else, like take the fun out of it for somebody else.
I'm going to layer him for a moment.
Okay.
Because we got a super chat from Joey Dano Guitars. I think he is the inspiration for all of these changes among guitar channels. Thank you for the super chat, Doug. He says ad-free, thumbs up.
Thank you for the idea for the ad-free thing, Joey Dano Guitars. We're going to be making a video about one of his guitars here pretty quick.
All right. We have another one before you finish those other questions.
Okay.
All right. Super chat from Kiwi Quarters. I don't know. Kiwi. Thank you for the super chat. Hi. Can you jam 2 lipstick pickups in a single cavity and have them humbuck flip one? I've seen your video, but can't remember the magnet's polarity.
You can. So one has to be hooked up. They have to be electrically out of phase from each other. So one wire has to be backwards to the other. And the magnets have to be opposite polarity as well. But yeah, you can do it. It's a thing.
All right.
Second part of the question.
Second question. Why can't people be happy for those who like something different?
I think that's a human nature thing too. But I think that guitar players are worse about it because they assign so much self-worth to their art and instrument, and it's a reflection of them personally. And so they take offense to, if I say I don't like an Epiphone and you have an Epiphone, then all of a sudden I'm attacking you personally when actually I'm not. So I think that is a thing that happens. The other thing I think is envy. I was doing some personal development time this morning, and I was reading about the definition of envy, and it's pretty good. It's pretty good, and it's the difference, because you read the same thing I did.
Yep.
There's a difference between coveting something and being envious. And being envious of something is not only wanting something that somebody else has, but not wanting them to have what they have. And so when that quality, and it's a very hateful quality. It's like a very, it's not just, it's like an overtly ugly thing to do to a person.
It's not extreme jealousy. It is a form of hatred.
Yes.
Yeah.
And I don't like you. I don't want you to have what you have. I don't want you to be happy. I think that comes from a place of, betterhelp.com/DylanTalksTone. Like you need some of that. You'll get a discount if you sign up with that. But I feel like that's a thing. That is not a reflection on me. That's a reflection on you. Like if you are having that problem or doing that to people. So this is really getting super, but I've been thinking about it a lot. Like that's why I was reading about that this morning. I was thinking about it a lot. Like how can I be a more positive space even than we are? Like this comment section has always been awesome. But I think it can be better. And I'm going to take the lead in doing that. And so I've been reading about it and thinking about it and meditating about it because I want it to be better.
The first part of what Charles said, like, I'm still amazed every time I play my new S-style guitar. Like, how long has he been playing guitar? Like, that's amazing that he looks forward to it. He surprises himself. Like,
yeah. So my thing is, why do you play guitar? And I think about this all the time for myself when I'm making videos. Am I making this video because it's a nerdy thing? So I ask myself this, am I a guitar nerd or am I a guitar enthusiast? Enthusiasm. Is this something I'm excited about? Do I really like this? This is super cool. I have to tell you about it.
He's nerdily enthusiastic about a lot of things.
But what is my motivation for making it? Is my motivation for making it so I can get in the comments and tell somebody I'm right? No, I think this is cool and I want to show it to you. So I'm like really examining my motivations for why I make content, for what we're doing around here, the products that we make, everything, so that we can be injecting fun into the community and encouraging other people to do the same. Because I think if you just step back and thought about it for a second, you could make a more positive, not you, I'm not speaking to any one person in general. I'm saying the collective could make more positive strides. And I know people will just say, well, that's just the internet. No, the internet is a bunch of people talking to each other. So how do you talk to each other? How do you talk to each other? And that is personal.
He talks to himself a lot.
Yeah,
Speaking
I talk
of personal.
to myself a lot. Yeah. So I don't know. What are they saying? How can they be happy guitar players on the internet?
Yeah.
Like I think it's really important to talk about, and I loved this question. That's why I was like, this is because we've been talking about it a bunch. This is great.
All right. So some of the things people are saying. Well, first of all, before I forget this, Jeff Nelson just became a member tonight. I don't think I've seen that name before.
Thank you, Jeff. Jeff just
Nelson
ordered a bunch of pickups too.
Oh, became a YouTube member.
Yeah, thank you.
Let's see. Random Guitar says, how to be a happier guitar player? Play more, practice more, and say something complimentary to another guitar player.
Amen.
That's really nice.
Positive input, self-improvement.
Because those things are contagious, right?
Yes, absolutely.
Tom F says, a lot of people like to do a topper type thing, as I got something better than you. It happens with most things. I don't like to top people. I just like what I like, care less if others like it.
I try to be really careful about that because, you know, I have nice guitars, and my whole brain, I'm like a little kid. Like, I have this thing, let's go play with it. That's where my mind is. It's not like I have a better guitar than you. It's like, no, I want to share it with you. If you come over here, you're allowed to play anything in the house. Like, that's, you know, I'll let little kids play it. I don't even care. I want people to experience. I think about like when Jay Leno talks about like showing his cars to the world because he just wants to contribute that, like, so that people can experience this stuff. That's what I think. Yeah, that's cool.
Charles Wallace says, 40 years playing my new guitar, says Dylan on the peghead, and I play it every day since I received it.
That's awesome. Oh yeah, we got new hats too, by the way.
Vinny's World said, I just like what I like and recognize that my tastes are different than other people, especially when it comes to colors, but they're just cool.
Yeah. Self-confidence is a thing too.
Hawkman Hawk says, I think people find joy in different things. Some like to argue and some look for like-minded people.
Yep.
Jose Daniel Zamora P says, my girlfriend is like that. She doesn't care about the nerdy stuff, but she cares a lot about aesthetics. Like my SG, she liked better because it was gold instead of a regular red.
Right. So you just talk to her about the things you know she's interested in, and it's kind of fun. And then she thinks it's cool when, yeah, you can have those conversations. That's what I do too.
Couple more. Matthew Altamere says, do guitar players do that in person with other guitar players? I don't jam with anyone except myself.
Let me tell you something. I've been doing this for 11 years. We have over 15 million views on our YouTube channel, and I have met hundreds of you. I have met total jerks in person. They never say what they say on the internet. Never. It happened to me the other night. Literally, I met somebody in person who was a jerk to me on the internet, and he was like trying to kiss up to me like you would not believe. And it's like, okay, that tells you a lot. So I just assume the best about everybody, and, you know, it's okay.
Dexter J says, wow, Dylan, you're great. Dude, this is awesome to hear. Dog Dr. Tim says, they assign worth to their worth to their choice to the point that they get convinced they are right. The corollary to this is if anyone disagrees with them, it is wrong. I was raised right.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I'm totally cool with being wrong. I think learning stuff is important. Yeah.
All right. I think there are a couple more and then we'll move on.
Okay, cool.
Let's see. Dom D says the internet allows some people to disrespect others without the risk of doing it to their face in person. Without getting into the threat of violence, people are generally more respectful in person.
True.
Point Nemo says some are just mean-spirited. It's sad. Whatever happened to them to make them that way? Just exit left and never let them kill your joy.
Yep. Exactly. Yeah. No, this has been a good little exchange. I appreciate it a lot. That's why I wanted to get y'all's comments on it too. Because I know it's not just me. I know that there's a bunch of people who watch what we do and they are wanting to make positive contributions to the community. And I think it's really cool. So keep doing it. Keep making the world a better place, one comment at a time, you know, and yeah, I think it's awesome.
All right. Next question. Patrick. Good morning, Dylan, Leslie, Brianna. I want to tell you this YouTube channel that I enjoy and love helps me a lot due to disability and etc. I might not be in your live videos and etc. like I used to be. I watch them all and learn from your old videos. Heads up, I'm saving up for your Telecaster upgrade kit humbucker in the neck flat 6 pickups with everything. Please have a raw nickel humbucker for me when I'm ready to order it. Look at maybe 2 months from now.
Awesome. That's cool, man.
Hope you're doing okay, Patrick.
Yeah, that's cool.
Randy. Hey, Dylan. Going back to your recent video about good guitars, expensive versus cheap, attitudes, I was in Guitar Center looking to pick up a Taylor. The model was a baby Taylor. As I was looking around and found an Epiphone Hummingbird, which I purchased. Both cost about the same. The Hummingbird spoke to me in a way the Taylor did not. I am having fun with it. Started learning some Zeppelin acoustic songs now.
Oh, awesome. Thanks, man.
Different kind of inspiration.
Thanks for sharing. That's great. That's a cool guitar, too.
Robert. Hello, Leslie, Dylan, and Brianna. Thank you all, and especially you, Dylan, for referring me to Matt and Texas Toast. I unboxed my Challenger today. It is correct in every way. I may not even have had known what correct is without your videos over the years. Thanks again.
Dude, that is so cool, man.
He said he got it out. He commented earlier. He got it out and he was going to take it to rehearsal. He's the one
Robert Hastings. Yeah. Very cool, man. That's super cool. I'm glad you got that guitar. Everybody needs to own one of those things before they cost too much, because they're not going to cost too much. But what they cost now, everybody needs to buy one. They're so cool, man. It's right there. I play it all the time, man. I love that thing. And then I just look at it when I'm not playing it.
I'm going to ask this. Is this Jim or no? He asked if we asked his question, and I don't even see his name here.
That's James Woodard.
Okay, that's who I'm asking. Okay.
Yeah.
James, speaking to Tone Woods, oh, the groans I hear already. Is it possible that this is even minutely detectable if the pickups of a guitar are microphonic, as now the motion of the pickup affects the sonic field? It would be akin to road noise in a car or 60-cycle hum that is mostly lost when the music is being played, but becomes apparent when playing stops.
Yeah, so here's the thing, is that the motions of... let's just use this as an illustration right now, okay? So when I'm talking to you through the microphone, my vocal cords are vibrating at a frequency that is usable, right? When you have a microphonic pickup, it is not the motion of the pickup and the guitar are not at usable frequencies. So all you hear is that. So you don't hear, it's not like it accentuates a frequency or takes away a frequency or contributes to the tunes of the guitar. All it does gives you extraneous noise that you do not want to have. So that's the thing with it. That's just kind of a quick and dirty illustration of it. But it does not, people think that, oh, well, the vibrations must help. It doesn't, because it's not working at the same frequency that the note is being played. So, you have to have even sympathetic vibrations in a guitar have to be complementary to the frequencies being played. Otherwise they can, depending on the frequency, cancel things. That's why an out of tune guitar doesn't have very good sustain, because the two notes are cross-talking each other and killing each other in certain spots. So if you do not have, if you have some of those frequencies that are, I guess what I'm saying is those kinds of things that people think, oh, it's definitely helping the tone. It's not, because it's not on the same level. It's just not working. Yeah. Anyway, sorry. It's an interesting thing.
That down. Super chat from Chris Hendricks. Thank you for the super chat, Chris. I almost ran your whole name together, Chris Hendricks. Finally, I'll have some Dylan P90s in my guitar rack again. I got a delivery notification for my Challenger Level 2. New gear day incoming. I'm stoked.
Dude, that's so cool. I didn't even see his guitar. I don't even know what color it is. Chris, if you can get back in the comments, tell us what color you got and stuff, and what the spec is. That'd be cool. Because I didn't. Sometimes I hear, not all the time, but I kind of hear about them, and yours kind of slipped past me, I guess. Matt bound my icon today.
One more.
So it'll go into paint next week.
Rob. Hello, Leslie, Brianna, Dylan. You got moved to the back of the line.
I guess.
Dylan, I saw a Rhett Shull video the other day where he swapped strat necks, rosewood, maple, and roasted maple on the same guitar body. He even used the same strings. There was an audible difference when he played the same riffs on each neck. This surprised me, as well as Mr. Shull. What do you think causes the difference in sound?
So there's a bunch of things. First of all, I would like, and I didn't watch the video, so I don't know, but were the frets the same size? Was the radius the same? And was the nut height the same? So I can understand why people, here's the difference between those things. The neck is the human interface with the guitar. If it feels different, it will sound different, no matter what you do. Because you change angles, you change everything. Even if it's all the same, let's say it is all the same. Let's say it is all the same fretboard radius, it's all the same fret size, all that. You will approach the guitar differently with a different neck. You will. There's no way around that. So, okay, I mean, I guess you could say that, okay, in that way it would change the tone of the guitar, but anything that changes how you play the guitar changes the tone. So I guess in that respect, he's right. I mean, obviously the results spoke for themselves. I wouldn't argue with that. I didn't see them, but everybody says that, so.
Chris said he got the JJJ neck profile Cadillac green over natural, gold hardware with the wiggle stick hip shot trim, inspired by my favorite Gretsch Duo Jet.
Nice, dude. That's so cool.
All right. John Roddy's got his guitar back. He says, John, on 15, can't play any Roddy.
Had to put his number back in there.
Thank you for the super chat. He said he was logged in wrong or changed his name in the wrong place or something.
Gotcha.
Super chatting to see if I got my profile name correct. I think we just confirmed you did.
Yep.
Dylan, when will you be back at Texas Toast?
Honestly, at this point, I don't know that it's going to be until next year. I don't know. Matt and I, we have only briefly talked about the next moves with that, and so I don't know the answer right now. Somebody else asked me that today too. So I should call Matt tomorrow or this weekend or something and chat about it, because I'm not sure.
Chris said the Retschel thing was 3 necks set up for the body, and Sweetwater did all the matching for the video.
Oh, okay. Well,
maybe it was trying to be a more controlled
I mean,
thing.
if that's cool. That's really a cool video then. I dig it. I'm still not going to tell you that rosewood sounds different than maple. It's just not, it's not possible. But how, for
Was
the
he
other,
blindfolded?
exactly. For the other reasons that we just discussed, it's impossible for the wood itself to make a difference. However, when you interface with the instrument differently, you will play it differently, and it will change how it sounds. I 100% believe that, and I think if you want to change anything about a guitar besides the pickups to change how you play it, definitely change fretboards. That would be the number one thing.
All right. That was all of Patreon and YouTube
Cool.
comments.
Excellent.
So you want to see what's come in since then?
Yeah, let's do it.
Point Nemo. There's 2. He has a correction, but I haven't read it enough to know where the correction goes. So, afternoon, Dylan. I am looking at your loaded S style pick guard. Looks like you have a ground running from the neck pickup. Please briefly talk about that, and where does it ground to the bridge/neck plate?
So all the pickups are ground to the back of the volume pot. And then there is a bridge ground, not a bridge ground. There is a ground that goes between the volume pots. And then you use a wire that should come from your trem claw to ground the whole thing. So no, that's what it is. Every pickup has a ground that goes to the back of the volume pot. So I don't know what you were talking about the bridge plate or neck plate or whatever, because that's not how you do it.
Here's the comment I was thinking of or had seen from Robert Hastings. So he said, hello, friends. I unboxed my TTG Challenger today, gave it the once over, tuned it, hit the first E chord. Then I got ready to load. I'll play it at rehearsal tonight. I'm sure I'll be happy.
That's so cool, man.
So maybe we'll hear about that soon.
Yep.
Kiwi. Sorry, I don't know how to Courtours. I don't know. TTGs have such a good look that you just want to pick them up and play them. Even that crazy plywood Les Paul they did.
I love that thing. I play that guitar every time. I finished that guitar because it'd been sitting hanging on their wall for years and nobody had ever finished it. And I was out there for a class and I wasn't building anything, and I was like, Matt, I'm going to finish that. So I did. And every time I go out there, I play that guitar. It's really neat.
F. Stathios said he added a Patreon question.
Oh.
And Jason did, and we didn't do either one of those.
Oh, well then hang on. Let me just go to Patreon. It must have been a little bit later because I will tell you that I work on the Patreon stuff at 7:00 Eastern time every week. So basically I watch the Texas Toast stream. I put the thumbnail up at 6. And I put the Patreon questions in the computer at 7. That's my schedule. So if you want to beat it, or I don't mean if you want to beat it, you can ask them late too, but I apologize in advance if you are late and I can't get you up on the screen, I guess is what I'm saying. All right, Jason Albert. Evening, Dylan, Leslie, and Brianna. Dylan, I'm very intrigued by the leather-covered pickup. Could you please give us some more information on it? Is that a thick piece of leather or very thin piece? It's a very thin piece. And we can actually experiment with that, and we can do whatever you want with it. It's
a similar question here, so we could just put that one on the screen.
It's like 4 pound or something. It's whatever the measurement is. No, it's totally cool. It's gonna work totally fine. I will let you know also right now, just sneak peek for everybody, that we have a bunch of exotic wood laminates coming too. So yeah. the laser is going to come out. So make sure that you continue to check the Dylan Talks Tone, the Dylan Talks Tone pickup vault on the Dylan Talks Tone website, because you're going to see me playing around with some really neat stuff. And some of that stuff, like right now, there's only 2 of those. So, and if somebody buys it, then I'll be like, okay, well, I guess we need to make more. But if nobody buys it, then I'm not going to make any more of them. But if you know, because it's a little extra work, it's a lot of extra work. So, we'll be playing around and experimenting with stuff. Yeah, for sure. Evstathios, good evening, Leslie and Dylan. I would argue that most gigging musicians, I almost read giggling, may consider not using their favorite expensive guitars to play live, but rather something good but cheaper, which would not feel super bad if damaged or stolen. Given this, what level of guitar would you recommend to a small-time gigging musician who would need to bring the 2 guitars, primary and backup, to a venue or a show? You know, I don't think that changes anything. I always say, buy the best guitar you can afford. The only difference I would say with playing live, because it's happened to me before, is, in my opinion, reliability trumps tone. So if you have a guitar that never ever breaks, and you know that the volume pot's not going to be scratchy and the jack's not going to pop out and it's going to stay in tune, play that guitar, because reliability is probably, Jim Woodard's here, he'd probably say the same thing. An unreliable instrument is worthless when you're gigging. So I would say 100% prioritize reliability, which means make sure that the pots are not cheap pots. Make sure that, so I would say buy the best guitar you can afford and play the best guitar that you can afford. And if it means playing a $3,000 Les Paul, then play it. I don't, but I'm a person who is like, I want to play and play it. You have to still play the guitar that inspires you. I've been to gigs and hated my guitar and hated the gig because of it. You won't be good if you aren't having fun and if you are not enjoying your guitar. I think I said this in the podcast the other day. Guitars are just, people are like, the people that say the guitar is just a tool and it just needs to, that is BS. Because if you don't like it, or if you struggle playing it, or if you have a hard time with it, your gig's not going to be good. So play the best guitar you can, make sure that it's reliable, and make sure that it is good so that you can have fun playing. That would be my spiel on that. And anybody else that plays gigs a lot, I mean, I don't anymore, but I used to, get in the comments and put your input in on that, because I think Jim and I have talked about this before. He plays expensive guitars because they're good and they sound good and they don't break. Like you gotta rely on them.
All right. So 2 related questions. I'm just going to read them both before you talk.
Yeah.
Jose Daniel Zamora P says, why were you mirrored in the first place? And Vinny's World said, I didn't catch the full explanation at the beginning, but is the image supposed to be flipped now? Or is the emblem on the hat meant to be in reverse?
Is the emblem on the hat reversed now?
It's a mirror.
That's why they do that.
That's why who does what?
So any words in the video. So I can't see it from here. So that's backwards.
Yes.
My hat is backwards. So they mirror the video image so that they mirror image the video so that you can read text on the screen, but we flipped it because it's less confusing for us.
Yeah, he can do whatever he wants to when he's in a video by himself, but it is really confusing when the video looks like he's over here and he's over here.
Yeah.
Like, that doesn't make sense.
Yeah.
So the reason it was like that is because we didn't check a box.
Yep.
So we are in the correct direction to each other, but now words on your hat will be backwards.
Yes. I guess I didn't think about the hat.
So he didn't make it backwards. It just looks backwards because you are a mirror to us right now.
Yes. You're actually like a little tiny square over there, but.
All right. Phil Grochel. Do left-handed guitars need to have the pickups reversed in order to work properly?
Only if they have staggered pole pieces, like a vintage style Strat, because then the ones that stick up are on the wrong side. Other than that, no, they do not.
So, similar question, I think. Draw for Real says, do lefties have to have staggered tuners made for lefties when it's the vintage inline tuners?
Yes, because the rotation of them is reverse. And pots on the guitar spin backwards too. So when you go clockwise to go like righty tighty volume 10, that's actually 0 on a lefty. I just wired a lefty tele yesterday and I had to like think backwards to do it.
Rusty asked a question mainly for the audience. I just want to read it so that everybody can think about it and give Rusty a response. How many hours of practice did it take before you felt confident enough to play in public? Everybody share their thoughts on this, please. Thanks.
I think that as soon as you can play a song, you should go to an open mic night. We were just talking about this last week. We go to these, they have, where we live, actually where the bar where my daughter works, they have open mics on Thursday night. I guess we don't go to those anymore because we do this. But every fourth Wednesday of the month or whatever, they have third, whatever it is. Anyway, they have a singer-songwriter thing and they do 3 songwriters in the round. And if you've never sang before in public, if you've never written a song before, like if you have 3 songs, they want you to play. And we have seen, and I would say just being like, in this area for the last decade, I have seen people who can barely even play put the work in at open mic nights and stuff like that. They might barely be able to make it through a song, but you can tell that they're really working on it. And 2-3 years later, they're gigging. Like they played in public way before maybe they even should have, but they should, because then they're building on that. I think as soon as you can, you should go and play an open mic night or whatever and get in with a group of people that play open mic nights. So then you're sitting in a little bit more and, hey, I need a guitar player for this song that I'm doing at this open mic, and you start to get into that. And I think it's really good. I think you should do it immediately. That's my opinion, but some other folks might say something different. But
Chris Hendricks said, took me about 18 months. I suffered from imposter syndrome for another 2 years, though.
I mean, I don't know that we ever grow out of that, right?
Finney's World said, I learned how to play after my buddy signed us up for a battle of the bands in high school.
Oh my gosh, that's amazing.
Yeah. Sometimes you just get thrown in too.
Yep.
Curtis Chavez says, I saw a guitarist who talked smack about how someone was playing on stage, and I'm standing there looking at the critic like, you do know that I've heard you play and you're not better than him.
Yeah, I don't understand that mentality.
Curtis Chavez again. Dylan, have you tried an Aristides guitar? If so, verdict.
Oh, I want one so bad. I've actually spoken with him about building me one, and it's one of those, I think he's waiting on me to pull the trigger. He told me he's waiting on me to do it, and I just haven't been in a position to do it. So but I want one. Yeah, they're really neat.
Dexter J got a tube amp yesterday and was blown away by the difference from solid state with tube modeling. Mm-hmm. That made me a very happy guitar player.
No, that's cool, man.
The distortion principle. Spoke to DiMarzio support once about the ability of Alnico versus ceramic pickups to pick up more interference noise. They said ceramic is indeed less susceptible to noise. Any ideas why? I wonder if they really said indeed.
I'm going to research that. I'm going to tell you that I don't know. And I can't think of a reason why that would be true.
It's interesting that they didn't give him a reason to.
Yeah.
Like, is whatever you reported, and then they were like, that's the expected behavior.
Right. Was it a troubleshooting thing where you're like,
Yeah.
my guitar's noisier than this other? Well, it's supposed to be like that.
Right.
Yeah.
Like a lazy answer.
Right.
I don't know.
Then it maybe not. I can't spell right now, but I will know what I mean. Okay. I really want to research that.
So this was the person that asked about the grounding. Point Nemo says, thank you. The photo of the pickup assembly, I just saw a ground wire on the neck pickup. I didn't see any other ground, and due to the location of the wire, thus I wondered about where it terminated.
Oh, yeah. On the back of the volume pot.
Does that mean your drawing is inaccurate?
He might have seen a picture, like a photo of a pick guard.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. You know, maybe it was at an interesting angle or something. Who knows?
An
Yeah.
interesting angle. Random Guitar says, in the Retschel video, at times the rosewood board would sound warmer, but at times I noticed he would shift his fretting hand and it would then sound more like the maple board.
Mm-hmm. That's what I'm saying. And see, okay. And there is, I believe that there is nothing malicious in him doing that. But what I'm saying, I don't think he's doing it on purpose. I don't think he's trying to mislead you by moving his hand.
Well, especially if he was surprised.
Right.
I mean, he was probably asked to do this video and had an expectation.
But I know that when I'm playing guitar, what the guitar is doing makes me react to it. Mm-hmm. And so therefore, I'm like, oh, it makes me want to strum harder. Oh, I have people in the comments all the time. Well, you strummed harder on that demo than you did on the other one. So that's not a good comparison. You know, they're not wrong, but I didn't do it on purpose. It was just like, what I'm talking about. You react to the instrument. You like Robert earlier when he slammed the first E chord on his Texas Toast Challenger, like, you know what that's like. And then all of a sudden you're like, oh, dang, this is how I'm going to play this, you know? So I don't doubt that at all. That doesn't make the technical reason different, but I do understand why that happens. Yeah, absolutely.
Matthew Altamare, during the higher humidity season, it's always humidity season here. Is it better to keep hollow body electric in the case or out on a stand? I
do. I keep them in the case. I keep my acoustics in the case.
It was an either or question. How do you answer I do?
I keep them in the case.
Thank you.
Yeah, no problem. And I keep the little D'Addario bag of jelly stuff in there. My Martin and my Breedlove and any of my semi-hollow stuff. Yeah.
Dan Morris, Old Dog Guitars, says maybe they're using lower resistant coils with hotter ceramic magnets to compensate, resulting in less noise. That's my only guess.
Yeah, it could really depend on, there's a couple things that it can depend on. It can depend on the tension on the coil. I'm just spitballing. What the first things I think of are the tension of the wire on the coil. So the Marzio stuff is usually pretty tight, which can be noisier. The dimension of the center core of it can make a difference. The coating on the wire and the thickness of the wire can all make a difference in how much noise there is. So I can see where you could create a condition between two models of pickups where that would be different, but one would be noisier than the other. But I think there's probably other variables there too, and that's again not a direct apples to apples comparison.
I'm all caught up.
Wow.
We have 10 minutes.
Dang.
You should ask your questions with question marks. I can't tell if you're talking to each other or talking to us. So if I missed it, repost it.
Yeah. I'm excited about all these pickup materials.
I know, you just bust in my office to
I know,
show them
look
off.
at this cool thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, it does look, those look really good. The leather ones do.
Yeah, the leather ones are neat.
Super chat from Joey Dano Guitars. Thank you for the super chat. I learned I can't read that. Santana Barbera Europa on my bass 10 years ago and played an open night and the guitars went off on another song. And of course I was lost, but I was a player for a minute.
That's awesome. Bass players. I have played bass. The open mic night that I used to go help out with a lot. I was in a band with a guy.
Thanks, Doug.
And thank you for the super chat. I was in a band with a guy that Dwayne and he was the host of an open mic. And so a lot of times our band practice would be that open mic because we would just go and we would be sort of like the house band and play a few songs. And other people would get up and do whatever. And if it was a light night, we would play more and whatever. But there's a lot of times where he'd be like, hey, I need a bass player because this person is, we want to like back him up. And because that's what he would do. He would be like, what song are you going to play? And they would say, oh, I'm going to play, Wonderwall or whatever. And he would get up there and play rhythm guitar for him or whatever, or back them up to make them sound better, to make them sound bigger, So he'd be like, well, do you want a drummer and a bass player? And they would be like, oh, wow. And it was maybe their first time ever playing with a full band. So we would sit in with them and really like boost them up because we wanted them to feel like they were actually playing, something cool. It was really fun. But yeah, I've been stuck. What are we playing? I don't even know. I'm back there playing bass. Like, I don't even know what we're playing right now. So you just sit there and kind of have to hobble through it.
Rusty asked, do you think the music business will eat itself alive due to greed? It's deep.
I don't think so. I like to think that the truly creative people will always be there. And the truly creative and motivated, they have to be creative and motivated, will be there and we will find them somehow. Because it's easy to find stuff. If you type into YouTube something very specific, I want to see someone from this country play this song on an acoustic guitar, you'll find it. Like, you could probably pick the brand of the guitar. And I want to see somebody in Italy play For Whom the Bell Tolls on an Ovation. You probably find it if you Google it. I'm sure that there are enough people out there that we can continue to feed each other as a community positively, no matter what the money does. And then if it's good, it will be good. And then I'll be willing to pay for it. You will be willing to pay for it, and life will go on.
Random guitar. So check this out. I was asked to join a band. I ended up joining that band and leaving my current one, but my departure was very amicable. I'm thinking of making a video on how to leave a band.
That's so funny. I love that. How to leave a band.
I mean, somebody's
you can have
Googling
so much
that.
fun with that too.
Yeah, like make it
funny, but also
make it not real. Like,
yeah.
Like the worst way to leave a band.
Yeah. I have all kinds of funny videos like that, but
yeah, what's that Netflix show? How to join a cult, or how to be a cult leader.
How to be a cult leader, yeah.
Hilarious.
And how to be a dictator too. Yeah, on Netflix. And the host of it is pretty funny because he's like, well, this is what you do. You just have to take over the, whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's pretty funny.
Phil Grochel says, searching random things like that, Dylan, is how I ended up finding this channel.
Thank you.
Most people Google
pots.
250K versus 500K pots, and that's how they get here.
Pots are capacitors.
Yep.
Or they find the Fence post guitar.
Fence post guitar. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know how they find that one though.
I don't either.
I mean, are they searching for
You know,
fence posts?
I don't know, but
Maybe they're trying to build a fence and then they find.
maybe. I don't know, but I do know that stuff happens because like where it'll hit some sort of recirculation, like maybe somebody will share it on Reddit or something, and it will get like all of a sudden there's a bunch of comments on some random weird video that I did a long time ago. You know, for like a week, there'll be a bunch of comments on this old video. And I think, yeah, maybe somebody shared it or whatever. But so thank you if you've done that, because it really helps.
Susan Banta, how to solder videos. That's how they got here.
Oh, right on. Thank you. Speaking of all of you, please do me a favor and hit the subscribe button. 61% of you are not subscribed. That number might be lower on live stream night. But if you're not subscribed...
Time to repost the sad video.
I know.
That was good.
Yeah. Hit the button.
Except all those animals are gone now. That makes it more sad.
I still have the video, though. Hit the button and please subscribe. I was telling the podcast audience the other day on Tuesday that it's not like a, oh, yeah, I hit 100,000. For me, it's like a mark of accomplishment and perseverance because I've been doing this for so long. Like,
yeah, he's wanted to give up many times because...
Yep.
I think we've talked about hitting 100K many years in a row.
Yeah. Yeah.
One day it's going to happen.
But I just don't want to give up. Like it's a milestone that and I'm not going to stop, obviously. So it's not like a thing that is, oh, okay, I've done it. It's just it is a marker in history that is meaningful to me in the perseverance side of life.
Yeah. What did you say the percentage was? It's like really, really low, right?
0.06. No, it's 0.67 of 1% of all YouTube channels.
So 0.67% or 1.67?
Yes. No, it's 0.67% of all YouTube channels.
Make it to 100K.
Make it to 100K. Yeah.
Phil Grochel says, I subbed several weeks ago and I have the bell enabled too.
Thank you, sir.
Point Nemo says, Dylan Talks Home popped up on my feed. I checked it out and subscribed and rang the bell.
Thanks, man.
Oh my gosh. Jose Daniel Zamora P says, I found an old video last time where you played in the van and Leslie was in the background like an Easter egg character from the first season on a show that later becomes important.
She's been important the whole time, but
that is so funny.
That's hilarious.
An Easter egg.
That is pretty funny.
Dan Morris, Old Dog Guitar says, I got sucked in looking for how to reduce noise in a guitar.
Oh, right on.
I like Brian Ekholm says, are you a Slayer fan? If so, what do you think about Kerry King's new project?
I can't call myself a Slayer fan. If I hear a Slayer song, I'm like, this is really good, but I can't call myself a Slayer fan. Like I never followed them. I wasn't really, yeah.
They had a cool logo.
They did have a cool logo. Yes.
So you don't know anything about Kerry King's new project?
No. I saw a t-shirt today. Mm-hmm. And it is a clam. Like a clam open like this. And the Wu-Tang W is in the middle. So it's Wu-Tang clam.
No. Nope.
The Wu-Tang clam.
That's not even funny. What's up with clams? Something else we watched the other day they made a clam as the logo. And I was like, why clams?
I don't know.
All right. 1 minute to go.
Cool.
Oh, wait, I didn't scroll. Dang it. Sorry about that.
Sorry, we almost missed the super chat.
BLD0550. Thank you for the super chat. Don't worry. Be happy.
Exactly. Bobby McFerrin. 1988 or 89 that song was, I think. Thank you for the super chat. Did I say that already?
I don't know.
I appreciate it.
Jim Woodard said, I've been a sub for years. Kiwi Couture says, you've got a metric ton of helpful videos. How can you not have 100,000 subs?
I don't know. That's a good question.
Jose Daniel Zamora P said, I laughed exactly like that and was like the DiCaprio meme pointing to the screen. That's Leslie. Oh my gosh, that's funny.
Oh, that is pretty funny. Well, it is 9:00. So here's what we're going to do. We're going.
I just put a blank comment in. I hit something on my phone.
We're going off topic. Can you put the little off topic dude up there?
Sure. Why is it a dude?
It could be whatever you want. So the way this works is this is off topic hour. This still is ad free, so please do what you can to support the channel. That'd be awesome. If you have guitar questions after 9:00, though, they have to be in a super chat. Otherwise, we're going to ignore them until next week. We want to do this to just get to know everybody and hang out and be friends as best we can. Ask as many questions about anything that you want, not guitar related, off topic, other life stuff. And we will try to update you with as much of it as we can.
And we don't have any, so
we don't have any from Patreon.
Send them in.
That's right. So
what were you going to talk about?
So I got Elon-ernet.
Yes.
Yeah, I bought a Starlink, and it came in yesterday. I put a video up about it today on the other channel.
I didn't know that. Okay.
I just did an quick unboxing video, and explain what we're using it for, because we have a B-class motorhome van, and so we travel with it. And for some, we like staying in national parks, and it's like the government put a force field around national parks where cell phone service just doesn't work.
It just cuts off as soon as you go through.
It's like you pull up to the gate and all of a sudden there's no cell phone service in any national park anywhere.
Mm-hmm.
And so this will allow us to be able to stay in national parks a lot cheaper or at all, really. And still work, and also be able to do a bunch of other traveling that we want to do. So I'm pretty excited about it. I got a mount coming for it.
Yeah. And if you've been around a while, you have to have good internet to do a live stream. And we have a trip coming up. Well, we will be live streaming from the van.
Yeah.
So we needed good internet.
Yep.
And selfishly, we need good internet too.
Yeah.
Because I don't like to not have internet.
No. Exactly. So yeah, it'll be pretty cool. I'm pretty excited about it. I got a hard mount for it for the roof. So yeah, we'll see how it works.
Whoop. I'm so confused. Super chat from Vinny's World. Thank you for the super chat, Vinny. He said, I just sent you an Instagram DM to give Leslie some context.
Okay.
I don't know what I'm getting context on, though.
Okay.
Maybe the image will give it away. I feel like I'm being set up again.
Oh.
Oh my gosh, that's funny. Okay, I get it now.
That is funny.
Thank you, Vinny.
Yeah.
I still don't want a shirt like that.
It's a Wu-Tang joke. That's pretty funny.
Joe Coach came in earlier and said, oh, maybe it's further back than I thought. Hi, Dylan and Leslie. Man, you guys both look great. Whatever you're doing, you're killing it. Keep it up. Then he just said, all right, I got to know, what are you guys doing to get so fit?
Eating right and not eating crap.
Yeah. Mine is health related, so.
Yeah. And if
not really going to talk about that.
If she was going to be healthy, I was going to try too. So there you
go. Random and fit is the wrong word. Definitely not fit. Dylan, what kind of coffee grinder do you use?
I have 3. I have a Do I have a DeLonghi? What's the one over here? What brand is the one over here? I have a Sete 270. Oh, it's a Breville. It's a Breville. I have a Breville grinder for my normal everyday coffee. We drink Chemex coffee as our normal everyday coffee, and so that is. And I also use that grinder for iced coffee in the coffee tower. And then I also have a single dose burr grinder that I use for any single dose coffees, like AeroPresses. And then I have a Sete 270 that I use for espresso. Yeah, I have 3 coffee grinders.
We also have a super chat from Kiwi Couture's Nerding Out. Does a Fender wide range have the same dimensions as those weird Bill Lawrence Gibson Corvus pickups?
I don't know. I don't know the answer.
Just trying to nerd out.
I know. I don't know the answer because I don't know the Bill Lawrence pickups. I know the other ones, but I don't know the Bill Lawrence ones. Thank you for the super chat.
Yep. Setting an example. Okay. A lot of people are saying things now, and I'm way behind. Okay. Flickering Madness says you catch the Oilers game last night. It was killer.
I did catch the Oilers game. Are we?
Yeah, hockey's on.
Yeah.
Jim Woodard said I got to order a hat when I get back to my home in Virginia. Sounds good, Jim. It won't be backwards.
It will not be backwards. End of the first 0-0.
Jose Daniel Zamora P says, on Tuesday, I was at a local library that had a disposable fountain pen for like $1, so I bought it. I wrote a little yesterday, and I was like, damn it, Dylan, and just ordered a Lammy Safari.
I love it. Oh, that is great.
Dan Morris, old dog guitar, says, I use Starlink at my office as a backup, and it's really great. Yeah, our son just got it too. So.
Yeah. Our son lives in the middle of nowhere, and he's got like some jerry rig mount on his roof right now because he didn't get the pole mount.
He was like, I ain't paying. Piece of wood. Yeah, he was like, I ain't paying for a mount.
I know. He's like, that thing's $100. I ain't paying for that mount.
200
or whatever it is. And he like climbed up there. He's got some jerry rig thing with the wire coming in the window.
It's working,
but it works. Yeah, they're doing good with it.
I think he did it through the vent through the attic.
He said he's going to finish it and make it look all nice because their house is really nice. So, but it's just, work in progress. Super funny.
Point Nemo says, when and where is your next trip?
We have
Nashville.
Oh, we're going to Nashville next weekend. Yeah.
Going to Runway Audio's wedding.
Yeah. Runway Audio, the guy that owns it is a good friend of mine, and he is getting married. And so we're going to his wedding.
And Blade Show.
And then
not like tomorrow weekend, but like
no, next weekend, the following weekend. And then no, we're leaving on Friday. And then we will be back. We will also be going to Blade Show Atlanta as well. I've been saving up.
Ted Onishchuk. Durable, light knife, good for a first timer that doesn't require a lot of sharpening. My 17-year-old is getting into that sort of thing, and a birthday is coming up.
Hand me that really bright pink one. So this, I tell everybody, if you are getting into a next level pocket knife, you don't have to get this color. There's a bunch of different colors. And there is a bunch of different blade steels.
He also said there's no chance of him seeing this. Nothing Dad does is cool.
Oh, gotcha. This is called a Spyderco Delica 4. This is, to me, the perfect next level pocket knife. They're not, I mean, I think the M4 versions and some of them are like under, like somewhere around $80 or so. And it is just a really good knife. The steel is good. The build is good. The grip is good. The size is good. It's a center lock back. And you can one hand open it. This is, to me, for a first next level knife, Spyderco Delica 4. I mean, everybody wants a bug out, but they're $160 now. So
John owns 15, can't play any Roddy. Says, bought the Lamy pen, been interesting using it and relearning how to write in cursive. I've been typing too much the last 20 years.
yeah.
It made my handwriting get better.
I feel all
Yeah.
of that.
Yeah, all of us have been improving handwriting or trying to.
Mom doesn't have to. Moms look like
Yeah, everybody thinks I have good handwriting. It's on her body. But
it is on my body.
I think we talked about the calligraphy stuff. I really had a vision in my head of what calligraphy I wanted to do. And no matter what I do, it just looks like my handwriting. So I just decided I'm going to embrace my handwriting, and that's just what it is.
Yep. You're still going to use big nibs and write like that?
Yeah.
But yeah.
Yeah, but it just looks like me.
Yeah.
Like if I threw a piece of paper in front of you, you wouldn't be like, whose handwriting is that?
Right. It would
Everybody
still
knows
be
what your
yours.
handwriting
Yeah.
looks like.
Yeah.
So I'm just going to embrace it and not try to be something I'm not.
Makes sense.
Charles Wallace says, love the random videos. They help the workday pass. And he said, always a good time watching your channel. Thanks, Charles.
What if you never do what you do all day?
He's a mechanic.
Oh, sweet.
Mm-hmm.
Rusty asked a question, and I have no clue what he's talking about. Rusty says, have you ever watched creepy pasta stories or something similar? That was really hard not to laugh.
No.
Creepy pasta stories? I don't even know what that means, Rusty. I'm really sorry.
Have you heard of it?
The answer is no.
She already asked me that.
I don't
know.
I don't know what that is.
No.
Need to know more about creepy pasta.
I'll Google it later.
Do it on a private browser.
I know.
Let's see. Jason Albert said, hello, Brianna.
Hello, Jason.
Joe Coach says, we went to a coffee / espresso machine in my house, and what a huge difference in taste.
Oh, yeah. Big time. Yeah.
Steve Rezer says, no sell. That's so you can't call for help when you're in them, and they can hide the truth about the monsters that live in the national parks.
Oh, yeah. There's a whole podcast about it.
Yeah. And when did I start listening to that? When we're exploring national park.
Living in the motorhome.
It's called Park Predators, and it's a little disturbing, but all the secrets do get
Park
out.
Predators. It's all about people that like get murdered and disappear and stuff in national parks.
Oh, well, that's like.
Yeah.
Dog Dr. Sim says, we have a true antique from my wife's grandparents. Who knows how old? It's a burr grinder, and we love it.
Oh, wow. That's cool, man.
Charles Wallace is getting his first fountain pen this weekend.
Is he really? That's amazing.
Oh, Dan Morris, Old Dog Guitar, says I can just call him Dan. The entire name is too long. I actually was just going to call you Dan Morris, but I was like, but that's probably his business name, and it probably is there for a reason. I didn't want to leave it out. So thanks, Dan. Let's see.
Yeah, I'd rather somebody call me Dylan Talks Tone in the chat. Just so the name gets out there more.
Yeah. Dom D said, that is my foot, and that was creepy. Dom D said, I ended up ordering one of those Benu Astrogem pens, the Apollo, for whatever reason. The colors more than likely reminds me of Superman.
Oh, that's the bluish red one, the blue and red one.
Mine's a Clio, and hers is a what?
Hers
something I should.
Hers is a Leto.
Hers is a Leto, and mine's a Clio.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I don't have one.
What?
Your Benu Astrogem. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Greg the Walrus says, Dylan, who do you want to win the Stanley Cup this year?
I would like to see.
I thought he was talking about like the white girl.
I would like to see.
Like a raffle.
I would like to see Edmonton and Florida in the Stanley Cup, and I would like to see Florida win.
Dog Dr. Tim said, I got my first Kakamori nib today.
Sweet.
For grins, I tried it with some cheap as, he made that one word, cheap as ink. That's not a brand, is it?
No.
Okay. I was like, wait,
Not that I know of anyway.
from a calligraphy set, and it still wrote like a charm. I love it.
Yeah, they're neat.
Curtis Chavez says the first thing I ever wrote with a fountain pen was John Hancock. That's appropriate.
That makes sense.
I've never done that. I have to try that. Let's see. Doc Siltonen just showed up. Hey, folks. Hello,
Hey,
Doc. Matthew Altimer said, I'd say about 97.3K people purchased fountain pens in the last year. I did. If all 97.3K watched the videos, that would be
fantastic.
Yeah.
That would be
Especially
fantastic.
if 61% of our views are not subscribers. So you already have all those subscribers
Man, that would
and
be great.
60% on top of that.
I will tell you, and what we're talking about the videos, we're talking about our other channel. So our other channel is Dylan and Leslie, youtube.com/Dylan and Leslie. I appreciate it. I have been noticing, and I know it's coming from over here. So I appreciate everybody who goes and checks it out and is curious. And I am not trying to get you into stuff you're not already into. Again, it goes back to what we were talking about earlier. I just like sharing stuff that I think is cool.
Joey Dano Guitars just named a book I might want to get. He says, I just bought the book 411 Missing, which is about 411 people missing in national parks.
Ooh.
That's a lot.
That's cool.
That's a lot. That's not cool.
No, that's a cool. No, I'm saying it's a cool book. I'd like to know more about that.
Joe Coach said, I lived in St. Louis when the Blues won the Cup a few years back. Stanley Cup champion celebrations are absolutely insane.
I love hockey. I love it. I grew up playing it. We grew up snowblowing the backyard and making an ice rink. I mean, playing hockey on ponds, like actual pond hockey. Like, yeah, man, I love it. I love hockey.
Jason Albert said, I used to have a Parker fountain pen. I have no idea where it is now.
Parker is good.
Just thinking. Dan says, I appreciate you guys. Guitars are just my hobby. I'm a mental health counselor at my day job. Wait, we didn't meet Dan, right? That's somebody else?
No, we didn't meet him.
Oh, wow.
We have not met him. That's really cool, though.
We've met somebody else who did a similar job.
Yeah, that's very cool, though. That is a great... We need you.
Yeah.
That's very cool.
And he said, Rangers just scored.
Cool.
Apparently Doug's down. You need to check on him. He said, I'm fighting to get better.
I will check on him. I need to work on his guitar. Let's see. What else we got going?
Nothing.
We got a bunch of new ink yesterday.
We did.
So that's pretty cool. So those videos will be coming out.
Swatching party.
We did.
Is that a word? Swatching?
Yep. I have an order coming from Knife Center tomorrow.
Tomorrow?
Mm-hmm.
That's not for me.
Might be. There might be something in there for you.
That's going to be a new word. I'm going to write that. Dr. Tim said, my 30-plus-year-old Parker cheap as still writes like a dream. I can't even read. Hilarious.
Yeah, one of my favorite fountain pens is old. Is really, I don't have it here. It's in the office. It's a 1966 Mont Blanc that I bought on eBay, and I absolutely love it.
Joey Dano Guitar says, I wish I could have known you would be into fountain pens. I sold my stepfather's collection when he passed. Yeah.
Oh, dang. That's cool, though, that he had one.
Yeah.
Yeah. I like them. I think they're neat. It's weird because it's just another nerdy thing, but I just think they're really cool. I like learning about stuff.
F. Stathio says, I also used to have a Parker fountain pen when I was a teenager. I haven't used one since then. Maybe I should change that.
I mean, yeah. Why not?
Jason Howard said, even though the Blues have only been to the Stanley Cup once since they were founded in 1964, St. Louis is very dedicated to the team.
Yes, they are. Yep.
I feel like all hockey fans are pretty
I was
dedicated.
gonna say I thought I had a friend that played in St. Louis, and I can't remember which one it was. Which one of my I have a bunch of friends that played in the NHL because I came from a hockey school, but I can't remember who. I had a friend that played there. Had a friend that played in Philly. Had a friend that played in Colorado. Obviously a bunch in Detroit. One in Phoenix. Yeah.
Flickering Madness says,
Boston.
my favorite normal pen is a Parker that I've had for 20 years, and I bought it when I was 20. Crap. Wait, I'm getting old.
That's cool, man.
I don't think I have anything for 20 years except my kids.
Yeah. Except you.
And Bryson.
Yeah. Well, that's what I meant collective you. The only thing I've had that long is I have 2 guitars that I've had that long.
I don't know that I keep things. You have
I have more of your stuff
Yeah.
than you do.
She has more. Yeah. That's what it's for, though.
To pass on
Give
to
it
them. Yeah, exactly.
I only think I have like one thing now.
I actually do have a box of things in my closet, in the office closet.
Oh, really?
Yeah, because we went through it.
Old stuff like.
Like first outfits and
Oh, yeah.
coming home baby hats and
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, she showed this. She's like, you fit into this. I'm like, not hard to believe. I didn't
Like-
get much bigger.
Oh, it still fits.
I didn't get that much bigger.
Oh, that's funny. That's really funny.
Rune wants to know, don't you answer guitar questions today?
Before 9 o'clock.
Yeah.
You must have got here late.
We are, so Eastern time, 8 to 9 on Thursday is guitar hour.
Yep.
And 9 until whatever is off topic
Yep.
for community.
Yep. And as long as people ask questions, we keep answering them. And if you use a super chat, we'll answer the guitar question after 9.
Dr. Tim, well, wait. Oh, Jose Daniel Zamora P says you need an additional boom mic for Brianna or like a wireless headset. You
I'm
probably
not a-
don't want to hear what's under her breath when she's standing here.
Yeah,
It's probably good that she doesn't have a mic.
probably.
Dr. Tim says, what are your thoughts on Monteverde? Goulet Pens has an exclusive called the Invicta that is pastel yellow, pink, and blue purple.
That's the one I was showing you that matches your shoes.
You didn't show me, you showed her.
Oh, okay.
Around $90, and I want it badly. Check it out. Yeah, I have a iridescent pen already.
Go in the top drawer on the left right there and get my Monteverde Formula Innovo. It's brown. Should be sitting next to the, yeah, that one. So here's the thing about Monteverdes. Their build quality, this is a Monteverde. And first of all, their ink is fantastic.
Ink is good.
Their ink is fantastic. Yovo makes their nibs. Yovo makes the Monteverde nibs, and so they're basically just a Yovo nib, and they are, but they're tuned really well. This pen writes so well. The only thing about them is they feel, it depends where you are in your figuring out fountain pen stuff. They feel as much as they cost. So they don't like punch above their weight, but they don't punch below their weight either. And they're mostly made out of metal, and so they're kind of heavy, and they do have a little, they're a little Epiphone. As far as like the finishes and stuff, they're just so, because they're kind of like shiny lacquery, and you know, this one's not, this one's a little different, but they write really well. I would say that pen is probably worth what it costs. That's a Monteverde Invincia
You said Invicto.
Yeah, or whatever. Yeah. In that new colorway, they have a couple other ones too, that like black speckle and green speckle and purple speckle and stuff, or blue speckle. I haven't written with that pen. I know it's wider and thicker than this one, but I do know that the number 6 Yovo nibs that are really good that they put in these pens. I like them a lot.
Rusty said, does your daughter play any instruments or sing?
No.
No.
Quite
I
entertaining.
sing to the dog in the car.
Jim Woodard said, I've had my buck knife since 1969 as a Cub Scout.
That's really neat. I just got a buck knife as a gift from one of you. One of a viewer sent me, Tim actually, sent me a buck knife, buck 110. And I love it. It's awesome.
Jose Daniel Zamora P said, what's your favorite Nickelback album? Yesterday, I was listening to Dark Horse, and it was better than I remembered.
The first, whatever the one with all the hits on it. Because I'm not a big Nickelback, like,
Yeah, I couldn't name a Nickelback album.
Yeah.
I can
I
name
think
some
Dark Horse
songs.
is the one that
Oh,
you know,
has Rockstar.
Rockstar.
yeah. I don't skip them when they come on. I think they're
Anymore.
great. Yeah. You want to talk about guitar tone? They got big guitar tone, man.
yeah. F. Stathio says, I'm really one of those people who at times believe that Nirvana was just about 10 years ago. My mirror and doc appointments are there to remind me otherwise.
Yep.
I feel that.
Yep. I think I have a dentist appointment on.
Doc Stilton
Tuesday.
said, is there a quote tone woods argument in the pen world? Wood versus synthetic versus metal, handmade versus CNC?
So, not as much. I would say, so the biggest thing is like steel nibs versus gold nibs. You can have a really well performing gold nib. I have a pen over there that a lot of people say don't buy the gold nib pen because, you know, like the 18 karat gold nib pen. Just get the steel one because the steel one's just as good.
Just as good as.
Exactly. And what most people will tell you is this pen, they're the same pen, but the nib costs an extra $150.
Whew.
So it's not worth spending the extra $150
Can you turn it into a pendant when it's not on your pen?
because it's not $150 better. So I don't know. There's a couple things like that. There are, you know, Jinhao and a couple of brands like that do make absolute ripoffs of other pens, which I won't buy. And so you're going to have your Jinhao people who are like, but here's the thing. The $12 Jinhao is not a Mont Blanc, and everybody knows it. They know that that is a copy because it doesn't have a gold nib and it doesn't have all the Mont Blanc stuff. But you have to look for fakes and stuff, especially if you buy overseas. I bought, I don't know, 3 or 4 pens from Japan, and you have to really know what you're looking at before you buy something from Japan and make sure you're getting the real thing.
Flickering Madness says, maple really accentuates my R's.
But I will say the community overall is like amazing. Everybody's super helpful. Everybody's super friendly. There's no snobs. Like you go to the pen show, you go to the Atlanta Pen Show and walk around, and
There's only one.
that guy he was an ass. But for the most part, it doesn't matter. The owners of all the companies will be like, come here, let me teach you something. Let me show you something. Let's look. And, you know, and everybody's really cool. And yeah, it's not like going to a guitar show where it's like a bunch of chest puffing and I'm a better guitar player than you. And, you know, that kind of thing. And the crowd's not any younger.
That's weird.
I was the youngest person there.
She was.
But you were forced to be there, so.
Yeah, it was terrible.
It was
I think
terrible.
I spent more dad's money than dad did.
Oh no, I held my own. I held my own. I can spend plenty of money at a trade show.
All right, it's 9:30.
Well,
Slow down.
it's all right. It is a hockey night, so
Yeah.
I'm
Are
not.
people dropping off
I'm not going to argue
a
if
little bit?
I'm not going to argue if we're taking it
If you're taking it,
if we're killing it at 9:30, so I can go watch some hockeyness.
all right.
Unless we got a last minute question came in.
Nope.
Talking about
They're talking
computers.
about computers and typewriters.
I took a computer class. It wasn't a typewriter, but I took a computer class.
I did learn a thing. I might have talked about this before. That cursive was put into schools when the typewriter was invented, because they thought that teaching handwriting was going to become obsolete because typing was faster.
I didn't know that.
So they developed cursive so that you could write more quickly to keep up with the speed of somebody typing.
So then, at what point did they give up because they don't teach it anymore?
I've got like 2 weeks of cursive in school. They didn't teach Lydia. They don't teach.
Yeah,
Like, they
it's
don't-
very recent that they've cut cursive, like in the last.
I don't think they taught Bryson either.
Yeah, maybe. So yeah, I know it's been pretty recent. I say pretty recent. I mean, how long have you been out of school now?
I mean,
6
elementary
years.
Because they taught me in 3rd grade.
Oh, okay. So
A long time
a
ago.
long time ago. But I'm talking about in the grand scheme of history, it hasn't been that long. But it also,
I've been out of school for 5 years.
it was also in the early 1900s when they started teaching cursive. Fountain pens were invented, the first patent was invented in like 1860 or so, somewhere in that area, because they were using dip pens before that. So fountain pens were a huge deal because you didn't have to dip them. And then when typewriters got invented, then they invented cursive so that you could.
We're stretching out our goodbye. Tom D said, I'll be taking a break on buying pens. I've bought way too many and need to actually use them. I have a conference in Vegas in a couple weeks, so if I do well, I may swing by Mont Blanc. Don't do it. Once you realize they have accessories too. Like,
Yeah.
That was
you better be ready when you go into Mont Blanc. I have 3 Mont Blancs and whew, yeah.
Kai said, I hated writing cursive, a complete waste of time.
I'm not very good at it now. I've tried to get better at it and I still kind of suck at it.
Travis McCartney says, my son is learning cursive in 2nd grade. So maybe
Okay.
it's not everywhere.
All right.
Maybe it's just.
Yeah. Interesting.
Flickering Madness says, when do you think society, that makes me think of Bridgerton. When do you think society will rediscover pens? As a whole, people's penmanship has gone drastically downhill.
Well, I know that because of the people that have been talking in the chat tonight, that we have triple-handedly, the 3 of us, been responsible for dozens of people
Handedly.
discovering writing again. So I think it's going to constantly happen. I think people, it's the same reason guitars will never die. I think people will want some analog in their life. I like to sharpen a knife by hand. I like to write with a fountain pen. I like to clean a gun. I like to, things with my hands because, yeah, you can go over there and ask your computer to do something. It'll do something for you, but sometimes you don't want to lose that part of it,
Dog Daughter Tim said, love you guys. When are we going to Franklin Christoph in Raleigh? I want one of their pens, but I want to buy it there.
I mean, I'll have Elon or Net this weekend. Like we could go at any time. I'm bummed out, Tim, because the Triangle Pen Show is in Raleigh next weekend. You should go to that. And what you should do, this is what you should do. You should go to the Franklin Christoph table at the Triangle Pen Show and buy one there because they will have prototype colors and show only colors. I know that you want a cathedral. You told me you wanted a cathedral, but they will have show only colors. I bought 3 of them the last time I went to a pen show because I was like, oh, dang, this is so fun. And they have colors that they won't have. And Audrey Madison will be there tuning nibs. So what you do is you go up to the pen table, and the pen will be there. This is a Franklin Christoph. The pen will be there, sitting there with no nib and no ink in it. And you'll say, okay, I want this pen. And then you'll walk over to Audrey Madison's table, and she'll tell you, which is connected to it, and she'll tell you, okay, do you want a stub? Do you want a stub italic? Do you want a whatever? She'll install it in the pen. She'll ink it up and test it with you right there and make sure that you know how to write with it. It's awesome. So that's what you should do. Go to the Triangle Pen Show and buy one at the Franklin Christoph table at the show.
Dan says, I read that women generally have better handwriting because their motor skills are more advanced when we were taught how. That would make sense. Curtis Chavez has a good point. I doubt that cursive theory, because just look at some historic documents. It seems cursive is way older than typewriters. I could be wrong.
Yeah, I don't know. I just
When
read
was the
that.
typewriter invented?
It's not that long ago.
Yeah. I mean, yeah. I have some census documents that say people had really good penmanship back in the day.
It wasn't cursive, though.
Yes, it was.
Was it?
Yeah.
Wasn't it?
So was the Constitution.
That's not cursive. That is, there's a name for it. If we're talking about conventional cursive that you learn in school, that's different than, what is the name of it? Something plate. It's called, no, you could get super nerdy about what each of the types of handwriting is, and the Constitution is not cursive. It's called something else. I can't remember what it's called, but anyway.
Florida just had the game.
Good. I don't care what the score is. The score could be 10-10 when I get off of here, as long as it's tied so that it's actually good. I don't want it to be 7-1. Although my sleep schedule is really screwed up during hockey season, especially when every Rangers game, just about, except for last night, or every Edmonton game, except for last night, has been going into overtime. Because they're in a different time zone than us, so it's late as it is, and then every game's been going into overtime, and I was like, oh my God, I gotta sleep. But
Flickering Madness says, if Cobain's favorite pen went up for auction, how much do you think it would fetch?
it's a Bic, so I don't know.
Probably too much.
Probably too much. I won't buy stuff like that, though.
Somebody will.
Yeah, I'm not like, I have to have somebody famous's underwear or whatever.
I don't want anybody's old anything.
Yeah, that's not my thing.
All right.
All right, let's get out of here.
Copper plate.
Copper plate, that's what it's called. Yep.
Thank you, Raymond.
You guys, this has been fun. You might see a video from me tomorrow, or you might not. You'll see a cool one on Monday, though.